I even registered on Twitter just to see what Trump would say. If someone had told me what Putin's nationality was, I probably wouldn't have gone. For the past month and a half, it hasn't been working. When you lose money from your own personal account, I would start to panic. Seriously. A year and a half of pure losses. About 10,000 of my own capital was lost. I realized that I need to get some dopamine somewhere.
Today, we have a truly legendary interview because we're recording with Irina, the first funded female trader to appear on our YouTube channel. As always, I'm Igor Fox. You're on the Upscale YouTube channel, where we talk about how you can get up to $400,000 in capital to manage through prop trading and unlock your trading potential. Like the video, leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's go. What's your total payout amount and how many payouts have you had?
On Upscale, I only got 2 payouts and then blew the account. One account made it to payout, but there were a lot of prop firms. I don't even want to look. It just upsets me. So,
What was the payout amount?
one was about, well, all of them were under $200. I think it was $170 and $132, something like that.
So what's your experience with other prop firms?
I traded on CFT, brought the account to payout, but the account was bought for $25,000. That was actually my very first experience working with a prop firm. I brought it to payout, then blew it, and it was really upsetting because I had already earned my own money, but I went over the limit just a minute ago.
Well, the bloody chain reaction that took everyone down.
It's good that it was a prop account and not my personal account.
Let's get to know you a little bit then. Tell us about CPA. What's your name? What do you do besides trading? And how did you get into trading?
My name is Irina. I work in the service industry, cleaning. Right now, I'm developing my own cleaning company, so we're taking small steps upward towards success. I got into trading about 2 years ago, and I first learned about crypto about 4 years ago.
So what was your journey in crypto like? What was your very first experience?
Well, we had hype projects. At first, I lost money, then I made a little. That was buying tokens that didn't even exist. Basically, I went through all the scams. Then I started coming across signal channels on Telegram. I was someone who didn't know anything, not what a long is, not what a short is. I started trading based on those signal channels until I realized it was just a way to lose money, that nothing good would come of it. But over time, I got really interested in it. I started digging around on the internet, trying to figure things out on my own. So in the end, for the past year, I've been trading profitably over the long run.
Here I am recording interviews with different people, and some of them have been at it for half a decade.
A year and a half was just pure losses. I lost about $10,000 of my own capital. Well, honestly, now, with the mindset I have today, even if someone just comes in and says, oh, $1,000, now I'll just deposit it and sit there, in some signal channel, clicking away, thinking everything will work out. Well, up to a certain point, you think everything will work out, but that's when you don't understand what risk really is. Management, here you go, and with $5, here with $10. Oh, I like this chart. So I'll go in here with 20. That's what my trading looked like back then. I thought, well, it can't be that you can't make money here, right? Then I started seeing all these recommended videos on Instagram, like, hey, I'm into trading, living the good life. I guess I wanted that too. If we hadn't talked about what kind of emotional journey it is, the internal stuff, we'll talk about that later. But honestly, if I had known what I'd have to go through, I wouldn't have done it. Honestly, if you had told me 2 or 3 years ago where crypto would take me, I would have just closed my account, deleted the exchange app, and never looked back. A lot of people give up right before they reach the finish line. It's like mining for gold. You dig and dig, but if you stop too soon, you miss out on the gold. But then someone else takes just one more swing with the shovel, and there it is, the gold. Everything I've been through, all the emotional ups and downs, all the tears I've shed, maybe it's different for men, but for women, it's definitely more emotional. But now, there's no way I'm giving up just like that. especially after all the training, the sleepless nights, the back testing. To try to learn something and then just throw it all away, I just can't do that anymore. By the way, this is the only field that I truly haven't given up on. No matter how things go for me, no matter how many times I get knocked down, I just take a deep breath and say, no, I can handle this.
You've already said that you lost more than 10,000, but at the same time, you understand the journey that led up to that, and that it's all part of the learning process. That you shouldn't quit halfway through. Yeah, that's worthy of respect.
Well, like I said, in about a year and a half, when I lost those 10K, in the last year, I've managed to make back about 4.5. So in any case, it's already starting to work out positively. And
Can you tell us how it happened that instead of trading with your own money, you decided to trade with a prop firm, and why did you? Like it?
well, first of all, after I lost a huge amount of my own capital, I realized that when I put money into the exchange, basically I earn money and then bring it there. It's like I'm paying a tax, damn it. We basically lived off the flat fees, yeah, of the exchanges. I realized that I don't like that. And secondly, okay, let's say I made $1,000 or $1,500 in a month. But damn, even if I set aside $300 from that, but yes, if you strictly follow, once I got smarter, if you strictly follow risk management, then what are you really going to make in a month? $40? If you stick strictly to risk management, but if you push it a little, you might make 100. You could also lose all 300. Okay, even here, let's say, if you buy an account on offshore, how many accounts? Well, for a $10,000 account, that's almost 3 accounts, right? And that's already, well, a bigger amount. And secondly, well, I mean, first of all, if it didn't work out with one account, right, you still have the chance to work with a second one. And in general, anyone who strives, who keeps going, will get there eventually. It's just a matter of which path you'll take, short, long, or somewhere in between, right? But if you really want to achieve something in life, well, you definitely shouldn't give up. And in trading, the Cube firm, they give you the chance to build good capital with the small investment.
And that's exactly what we'll find out in this interview, what not to do for our audience. And it's good that you understand that. It's important.
I realized that I need emotions, and I found a way to manage it, how to trade properly and manage risks on prop firms, on Upscale. And if I want to get that emotional rush, I go trade with my own accounts on the movie exchange. And so I set a risk of $1 or $2. Either I make $10 or I lose it all. 3 or 4, well, out of 100. And I get the emotions that I'm missing. I'm a gambler. I'm just a gambler. It's honestly terrible. You shouldn't do that. I know you shouldn't do that, but at some point I hold myself back for a month and a half, and then I start gambling again. Look, I have $100 sitting on the exchange. I make enough there every day for the kids to have ice cream.
On the exchange, you let your inner gambler out, and if things go well, the kids get ice cream. If not, well, no ice cream for now. We wait for the next lucky session. I
realize that I need to get some dopamine somewhere. Well, I'm a gambler, I really am.
And for those in the audience who don't know what prop trading is, what is it? It's when you join a company, take an exam to prove your trading discipline and expertise. And based on your results, you're given capital ranging from $5,000 up to $200,000. And the link is always in the description. And we continue. So let's move on to the trading strategy that doesn't work for you.
Well, look, here's an example. We're on Bitcoin, here's our hourly FVG, and we bounce off it. We get a bit of a rebound. This is just from the last few days, on the chart. So I was expecting a bounce from 62. I was expecting a bounce from 64. We got a 1% bounce, and that was the entire rebound. Why? After rethinking it, I realized there's no liquidity in the market. And now, probably, it's not worth expecting the big growth I was hoping for. Turns out 4 to 5% is already a big move for Bitcoin. It can't break through the nearest resistance zones. So basically, it was trading off support and resistance off the main zones.
What about the hourly levels?
Hourly FEGs. Well, that's if we're talking about intraday trading. And the scale's broken, 5 to 15 minutes. So lately, if you look at the 5-minute chart, it's the same thing. We moved from the zone, but even here, for example, we can't even break the 5-minute level. We can't hold above 61. That's how weak the market is. That's why it's become much harder for me to trade this market now. And I decided that maybe I should look into volume analysis, try myself specifically in volume analysis, maybe even move into scalping, because scalping is mostly based on volume analysis on the 5-minute chart, with trades on the 1-minute and 5-minute charts. But again, you need to look at back tests for that. You need to check out some training, at least the basics. I haven't tried working with volume analysis yet, honestly. So most of my analysis was from support zones to resistance zones. But usually, I would at least look at the resistance zone, meaning if I was waiting for a bounce from the support, I would check that. I would also look at the hourly resistance zone. And now it turns out we can't even move away from the hourly support. I mean, the 5-minute charts are stopping us. The 5 minutes. So basically, my whole strategy, which was from the hourly or 4-hour support zone to the 4-hour or hourly resistance zone, just doesn't work anymore. There's no strength in the market. And maybe I should have switched to the lower time frames. And at the same time, I understand that the whole market is expecting it to go lower. But again, psychologically, they might not let it happen. Or they might push it much lower than necessary. So for me, the market right now is as unclear and as difficult as it gets. So either I need to reconsider my solid strategy because, like I said, for the past month and a half, it just hasn't been working.
So, in your opinion, the market, has it changed for us?
Yes. And the reactions to news are just terrible. Actually, not even that. I know that if there was a course on how to trade based on Trump's thoughts, I would buy it. Well, Trump's Twitter. Seriously, I mean, I would actually buy that course.
Seriously, let me share a story with you. When Trump had a conference 2 days before the inauguration, they showed it on TV. There were something like 100,000 viewers. At least that's how many there were where I was watching. My friend and I got together, it was like 3 a.m. That's when he launched his Trump coin. I think everyone knows about it very well. It took a lot of people's money. And we had an amazing trading strategy. What was it? If they showed anything on TV except Trump, we would go short. As soon as Trump came on stage, we'd close the short and go long. It was a totally humorous story, but actually it worked out in our favor. In the end, I ended up in the red, but still, well, we each set aside about 50 or 100 bucks. I don't remember exactly. And we just had a good time like that. So your story about how to understand Trump's thinking is actually relevant. See, there you go. You could say a fellow countryman.
I even registered on Twitter, just to see what Trump would say. At moments like when he announced a truce with Iran, I managed to catch some really good longs afterwards.
Yeah, look, right now, you and I are talking about some kind of sad things like a trading strategy not working or the market being kind of boring. Let's move on to something pleasant. Let's talk about your certificates. Let's take a look at how Irina became an Upscale funded trader and what certificates she had for withdrawals. I'll ask you some questions.
All right, look, I know what I'm going to brag about. This is something I'm really proud of. Well, first of all, Cetra, this was my very first challenge that I passed. There was a payout. Actually, that was the first one, and the other one was the second. Here, look, this is what I'm most proud of. This is your tournament, the one that was really fast. 6 hours. Although at first, I just wanted to make it into the top 10. But I was driving a car, and that wasn't ideal. Trading.
Listen, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever seen a tournament certificate, because it's a recent feature that we just added. And you're the first person to show me what our tournament certificate looks like. Could you tell us about it? What are your main trading rules that you never break? Have you ever broken any of them? Will you talk about that? What did you used to do?
Understanding stop loss. For me, it used to be like, well, I'll just move it a little. What if it doesn't reach? Yeah, that's how it was at first. I'd average out, move the stop loss. Now I don't do that anymore. Now, for me, it's absolutely non-negotiable. If I set, so I look at it, right, and I set the stop loss beyond the zone. Well, if the stop loss gets hit, then it gets hit. That's exactly what happened with the hype coin. I was shorting it, by the way. And I actually got a really good short position, but I got stopped out by a wick. And now when I look at the chart, I realize my take profit was at 52.4. And now we're slowly rolling down to that level. And that's it. And now, for example, if I'm going long, when I'm building a position, I usually split it into two parts. But I don't move the stop loss. So I've calculated my risk, and if the coin goes down, like into the lower zone, I add to my position and then just wait for either the stop or the take profit. So I'm really strict with stop losses now. I used to break the rules, but now I'm strict. And
Did you used to want to move your stop loss before? The stop, here and there. Not following your own trading strategy. Yeah, I assume you also overtraded. Was that the case?
well, yeah,
So, what conclusions did you come to? And what results did you achieve in general?
now, honestly, if you just realize it, like I do now, if you get stopped out, the market's just not going your way, just close your laptop and go take a walk. Because the market works 24/7. There will always be opportunities. You can always make money. Well, you can always lose money too. But if the market is moving against you, don't try to jump back in. Like, let me try to catch it one more time. But no, it still doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. Now it's gonna bounce, fake out short. Or like, now it's gonna dump. No. And
How do you stop yourself from overtrading? What's your approach?
honestly, it's tough. I look for my phone for the kids, their game is installed on it, and I just put it away so they take it from me. That's honestly the best way.
We've already discussed this. What's the difference between trading on the exchange with your own money and prop trading, where you're given capital to manage? And can you tell us from an emotional standpoint what that's like? So, we've discussed the financial side, but emotionally, where is it harder? Where is it easier? Where do you like it more?
I like prop trading more, but it's also harder in prop trading. Definitely. There's a different kind of responsibility there, just a bit. And you have to hold yourself back. And on the other hand, you have a clear risk limit that you can't exceed. If that's a limiting factor, and on the other hand, for me, at first, it was really hard to adjust to this. I mean, if somewhere, by the way, that often led to blowing up the account too. So here, for example, if you exceed your risk, even just your daily risk, you won't keep going. But on your own, like personal account, well, okay, you lost 50, then you lose another 50, and you think, so what? My account seems big. Even if you have $1,000, you lose 50, you still have 950 left. That's why it leads to blowing up your own account. If you already exceeded the limit on a prop account, they take your account away. So accordingly, the losses are smaller. In that sense, it might even be easier.
So, for example, we have viewers who want to trade calmly. We've realized that this can be done through prop trading. What advice could you give to those who are just thinking about starting prop trading and they've never dealt with it before?
Start with a small amount. So basically, get an account, save 5,000, and try it out there. This is so you can get used to the trading terminal. Not all coins are available. Again, a lot of people, for example, who trade like I do on exchanges, trading for pennies, as they say, they're not there. So get familiar with the terminal, get to know the available coins, and look at the risks. Again, on the exchange, there are 75s plus 50s. Here, there are 5s. So once again, you need to learn how to adapt to that. So 5,000, I think that's the most optimal amount to start with. And it worked out great. They withdrew and bought themselves a $100,000 account. I
Think you've more than explained the success of passing, the challenges, trading accounts, and your attitude toward them. Now I'll ask a more general question, one of our closing ones. In your opinion, what is the secret grail of successful trading?
stops from PM damage. Yes, but a trader can't say, that's it, we're 100% going to be guests. That's it, we can 100% fall. Well, we should fall, we will fall, yes. In any case, we trade based on probability.
Let's wrap up the interview with you. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your story. I think it will resonate with many. It'll speak to someone. And to wrap up, any one thought from you? Absolutely, on any topic you want.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of your nerves. Look, I wanted to express my gratitude to you. First of all, I am very glad that I got to know your company. I'm very happy that I got to do this interview. At first it was scary, but now I realize it was awesome. Really, thank you so much. You're all amazing. Wishing you prosperity and growth. And I'm with you.
Thank you for watching. Give us a like, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get interviewed and share your trading successes just like this, follow the first link in the description. There you'll find the Upscale platform waiting for you. This was Igor Fox with you. See you at the top.